Hi guys. So there's a lot of things people say about castor oil, and some people have experiences giving birth with castor oil and some people don't. I, in a matter of fact, do. My doctors told me that they can't induce me because my baby at 38 weeks was 6.5 to 7.5 pounds, and they told me that if I went to 40 weeks that my baby would come out being a little bigger than he should be. So they told me that they can schedule an appointment for me to get me induced, and honestly I kind of wanted to try to induce me myself, because I wanted to see what I can do. So after like 37 weeks I started walking more, and I started just like using the ball. I started trying to like work out a little bit, like doing a little bit of squats, and I tried pretty much anything people say that helps induce. Like I look up online what helps induce labor, and it would say like, oh, walking more, or like eating pineapple helps induce your labor and stuff. And then like none of those things actually worked for me. And well, I've tried like multiple things on there. I don't really quite remember them all, but I asked my doctor about castor oil, and she said that I had a midwife, but she said that most doctors don't recommend it. But I mean, it doesn't cause you or your body any harm. If your body is ready to have the baby and you get castor oil, then your baby's just gonna come out, and it's gonna help you speed up the process pretty much. But if you take castor oil and your body's not ready for it, your baby's not ready, nothing's gonna happen. So I had a good experience with my first labor, and I think it's because of castor oil, honestly. I took castor oil around 3 in the afternoon on, I think it was a Sunday. Yeah, Sunday at 3 in the afternoon. And I gave birth at 11:17 in the morning. So on Sunday, I took 2 tablespoons of castor oil. I would show you guys the bottle, but I gave it away. It's like this size, and it tastes like nothing. It's just thick, pretty much like thick water, like the feel of medicine. It's really smooth, it's tasteless. But something I'm gonna tell you guys is, if you are planning on taking castor oil, please don't go out anywhere. Like, just don't go anywhere, because you'll be in the bathroom all day long, whether or not you're in labor. So what I was saying is, my midwife said that doctors don't recommend to take castor oil, but it is scientifically proven to help speed up your labor. So I talked to my husband about it, and I was 38 weeks and a couple days, and like my pregnancy, I don't know if this is normal in pregnancy, but I was very, very itchy. I was like really irritated because it was like my last weeks. My stomach was getting heavy. Nothing fit me. I felt like I looked like crap. I was swollen. My hands and fingers were getting blisters. My toes were getting blisters. And I was at the point where I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't talk. I couldn't walk that much. And I was so exhausted to get up and do stuff during the house. Like, it was really hard for me in the very end, and I think that's normal with pregnancy. So on Sunday I was like, you know what, how about I just try castor oil? I mean, if my doctor said that it doesn't harm you and your baby doesn't come out unless it's ready, I mean, I might as well take it. I mean, if it's not going to do anything wrong or cause any problems during my labor. So around 7, which is like 4 hours later, I started feeling mild contractions. And they're not like the contractions I've been feeling previously. So I told my husband, because he went to work at 7 that day, and as soon as he was leaving to work, I started getting like mild contractions, and they just felt like little bits of cramping here and there. They'd come and go, and I was like, no, go, it's probably not going to work. I mean, a lot of people take it, they might say it might work for them, but I have a feeling it's not going to work for me, because it sounds too good to be true. Like, you drink something and it makes your baby come out. Like, come on, that's too simple. So I was pretty excited. I was like waiting for that moment where I was excited to feel the pain, because I was like, that means my baby's coming. So around 7, my husband left to work, and he told me to call his sister if anything would happen. So that was 4 hours later, and at around, I want to say 10 or 11, my contractions got to the point where they hurt. Like, I couldn't sit. I needed to get up. I needed to walk. And they hurt so bad that I was crying, and I called my sister, and I called my sister-in-law, and I told her, I was like, they're really painful, and she was sleeping, and she's like, oh, just try to walk it out, because, you know, sometimes if you walk them out and they go away, then you're not in labor. She's like, you're probably not in labor, you still got 2 weeks. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I ended up walking back and forth, and my contractions were not stable. They were not every 2 minutes, they were not every 4 minutes, they were like every 2 minutes, and they'd go to like 6 minutes, then it'd be 8 minutes apart. So I was like, that is really, really weird, because they said that they're going to be really stable, and it got to the point where I just couldn't stand anymore, so I sat down on my couch. My couch is not bouncy, and it's leather, so I was kind of like trying to bounce on my couch, and it kind of helped, because it like took the pressure off for like a couple seconds, and then went back down. So it kind of got to the point where I was like, okay, this does not feel normal. Maybe something went wrong, because I took castor oil, and I honestly don't remember how many centimeters I was dilated. I think I was like I want to say like 1 centimeter, and I was not effaced when my midwife told me. I think I mentioned it in one of my videos, I don't remember. And then when I got to the hospital, before that, I called my husband, and I told him, I was like, you know what, you need to come home from work. I cannot take this. That was 30 minutes later. After I called his sister, I was like, you know what, I can't take it. I need to go to the hospital. And even if I'm not in labor, I need him to give me something that will make it go away, because it's super painful, and I can't stand the pain no more. And he's like, well, because previous to that, I went to the hospital because I was having bad pains. So I was kind of like embarrassed to go, because I was like, wow, the doctors are going to think that I go for every little thing, you know? So I was kind of embarrassed, but I mean, it was super painful. So I didn't end up taking anything with me. I didn't take my car seat. I didn't take any clothes for myself. I didn't take anything. And as soon as I came in, I was already crying, like I said. And then I came in through the doors. I rang the doorbell, and it was like 12 in the morning by then. And one of the nurses was like, hi, may I help you? And I told her that I thought I was in labor. And she told me to come in, and I was crying, and I told her, I was like, you know what, can you just please give me something? Before I even checked in, I was like, you know, I'm probably not in labor, just give me something that I can take to make the cramps go away, because honestly, it's super painful, and I still have 2 more weeks to go, and I was just like so out of it, and I think my body was in shock. So she checked me in, and then I sat down in the room, and she wanted to check if I was dilated. So when I came in, I was already 4 centimeters dilated and 70% effaced. And then at 8 in the morning, I think it was 8 in the morning. No, At like 7 in the morning, I got my epidural, but in between those, I got this shot that helped numb your contractions for 45 minutes. So what I was doing that really helped my labor was walking, bouncing on the ball, and pretty much walking a lot. And so after, no, actually I came in, I was still at 1 centimeter. And then when she checked me at, I think 3 in the morning, I was at 4 centimeters. And then at 7, I was 8 centimeters. So at 7, I got my epidural, and I'm glad I didn't take it earlier because I was able to walk around and kind of like speed up my labor just a tiny bit, so I'm not just sitting and putting pressure on the baby. So it was really painful, and every single time I reached the end of the hallway, I'd be like, I'm about to get a contraction. So I prepared my body for it, because by then my contractions became more steady and I knew when I was going to get one. So I was so like, I don't even know how to describe it. I was just in so much shock and in pain that I didn't want to walk. And before we came, I told my husband, I was like, you better make me walk. If you don't make me walk, I am going to be really mad at you. So I made him promise me that he's going to make me walk, even if I cry and even if I tell him, like, no, I'm tired, I don't want to walk. So it was kind of hard on him because I was telling him, I was like, come on, you need to push me to walk. And I also told him, like, I don't want to walk anymore. In the beginning, I told him, I was like, okay, let's walk. But after a little bit, I was like, I cannot walk. Just stop pushing me to walk. And he was like, no, you need to walk. Come on, just one more loop. And then we'd reach the end, and he'd be like, you know what? It's almost been an hour. They're going to give you your medication again. But if you keep walking, it's going to be faster. And that way you can get the baby out of you faster. So for 15 minutes, I would not have any drugs on me. And then, so the way that drug would work, I don't know what it's called, but you get it every hour, but it lasts 45 minutes. So there's 15 minutes in between where it doesn't numb you, and you can't get the drug until an hour passes. So every 15 minutes, I would be in so much pain that I would be like, come on, just give it to me a little bit earlier. Like, it was that bad. I felt like a drug addict. But as soon as I got my epidural, okay, epidural is not painful. It is not a bad feeling. You can't feel it at all. The needle doesn't hurt. And I don't know, people always say, oh my gosh, epidural is so bad, it hurts your back. No, it doesn't hurt your back. They massage your back, which for me at least made my contractions feel so much better. Because, like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, they'd massage your back, and then, like, you get your contraction, and I'd focus on the feeling on my back. So I'd kind of, like, minus the contraction. I also took a hot bath in there, and I was in the bath for, like, an hour and a half. And I turned on the jets, which really helps me out. And so I got the epidural at 7 in the morning, and I was 8 centimeters dilated. And then I kind of just fell asleep for like a couple hours, and around 10:30, I want to say, I started pushing. And no, like 10:40, I started pushing because I was at 9.5 centimeters. Wait, I honestly don't remember, but she came to check me, and she told me that I wasn't ready yet. But I told her, I was like, I feel the urge to push. So she started push. I started to push, and she's like, we need to get you the midwife because your baby's coming. So I ended up pushing for about 30 minutes, and he came out. So I honestly think that castor oil really helped speed up my labor, and I was not prepared, to be honest, which I should have been, because I mean, I did induce my own labor, but I should have brought my stuff. So the reason I told you guys not to take castor oil and go out somewhere, because when you take castor oil, it cleans your body and it makes you have really bad diarrhea. It makes you poop, and it just makes your contractions feel really, really terrible, because as you go to the bathroom, your baby goes lower and lower and lower. So I was on the toilet for about 3 hours before I was able to start walking. So after I got my contractions around 7, I started going to the bathroom for the 3 hours, and around like 10, that's when I started like walking, and I was getting them really, really, really bad. So to those of you who are wondering what it's like to take castor oil, in my experience, it's great. I would highly recommend you to take them, but I wouldn't recommend you to take it at 37 weeks. I'd wait until you're at least 38 weeks, because that's when your baby is full term, and that way your baby doesn't come out having any problems, because it would honestly suck, and it'd be really, really sad knowing that you induced your own labor, knowing that if you would have waited a week, it would have been easier for you. So in my experience, castor oil worked very, very well, and I'm very happy I took it. A lot of people are against taking it, but I didn't just drink it. I rubbed it on my belly, I rubbed it on my legs, and like I tried to like put it on my stomach, so as if I don't swallow it, maybe I rub it on my stomach and it would help, you know, I don't know. But I read that you don't have to swallow it, you can rub it on your stomach, but it helped me by swallowing it. So for those of you who were interested in knowing this, thank you for watching my video. I will be making another one soon. Have a good day.